Kia ora, and welcome back to Takatāpui Talk. Last week, we followed Amanda La's incredible journey from Tokoroa to the world stage. But today, we go a little deeper. In part 2, we explore the people who shaped Amanda's life, the Takatāpui pioneers who walked before her, the importance of chosen whānau, and the legacy she still hopes to leave for those who follow. Also, the power of drag. There's a few tears from me. It's a conversation filled with laughter, love, reflection, gratitude. So please make yourself comfortable and let's continue the remarkable story of Amanda La.
And she is. You know, I mean, when I first met you, I'd hired you for a show here in Rotorua, which was a huge success. And for me, it was about bringing drag to Rotorua, like proper drag, you know, not the rural drag. And when I was, because I had it at the Citizens Club, like, you know, a very basic venue. I did that. Well, thank you. And I was willing to make it something fabulous, but I know the power of drag and what it can do to an audience. And, you know, Spanky Jackson and Cola was with you, and you did an incredible show. But as I was walking through this club, or, you know, the Citizens Club, and the shock on the, you know, the president, or the shock on the manager of the success of it. And then the bar, which we had our own bar, had to be filled 3 times. And I'd go out there and I'd say to them, I told you, this is drag, the power of drag, the entertainment. Look how everybody's feeling. And when it was closed at midnight, they didn't want to go, you know, but it was like, there's nowhere else to go because it was Rotorua. And I've always known that about drag, obviously spending a lot of my time in Sydney growing up and, you know, in London and all of that. I was always looking for a drag show. So we've got to be really grateful for it and what it can do and how it can make you feel. Even if you're reading people to filth, it's still fabulous. And I always loved your numbers because they were slightly, you know, indigenous or African and things like, you know, so, you know, she's really playing she really plays up to that, but you're not really playing up to it. You're actually living it. It's just an extension of who you are, and so much power in drag. I can't emphasize it enough, you know. I was talking to Rauretti Ormond the other day, and he does the Tifas, you know, beautiful boy. Gosh, he's so lovely. He's only 23, and they're working on the Tifa show now. And I'm like, I need to bring you here. You need to come and do it here.
Oh, you need to.
And he also emphasized that he makes so much more money from drag.
And you know, doing drag. I mean, I got to host some fabulous events for Weta Workshop for James Cameron. When I was in New York, Cola and I went up there for a holiday and just to buy things. We got invited to some exceptional places that normal people wouldn't be invited to. I mean, working at Government House, for example.
Yeah.
When they had the air show, Peter Jackson took that plane from King Kong. Raquel and I were asked to host that. I mean, that was international. There was, on an average day, you'd hear 5 languages being spoken. So I was very fortunate because I speak French and German and Japanese and English. I was able to welcome people in their native tongue, which it sort of set this precedent where I think the average audience, especially for that event, thought that drag was like Priscilla Queen of the Desert, the big hair and the big makeup.
Yeah.
And then you see these girls coming out. One looks like Whitney Houston and the other one looks like Rihanna.
Yeah.
And then they open their mouths and they're speaking. They're real. They're speaking in French. They're speaking in German. So I think the coordinators were like, who are these people? Like, are they transgender? And, you know, they wanted to meet us as boys, but we were hired as drag queens. So when you asked before about Amanda and Adam being separate, I learned very quickly in my career, Amanda's completely separate than me.
Yeah.
And I did this experiment. I'd become quite well known in Wellington. And I could go up to any nightclub and just walk in and, hi, Mandy. And you go to the bar and get a drink. Hi, Mandy. So I thought, could I do that as a boy? So one Saturday night, I went down to a club that I always go to. And I was dressed nicely. I did the long line and I went to go in and Rick, the guy that I've known for years, and he goes, hoi, 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 hoi. Who do you think you are? And I was like, Rick, it's me. It's the man to the whore. And he goes, nah, don't. Get to the back of the line, oi. And I was like, what? And he goes, get to the back of the line. Don't try and push in here. And I was like, oh, it's me. And then I sort of went to the back of the line and I thought, is this what it feels like to stand in line? I hate it. But anyway, I got to go in after about, I don't know, 15 minutes, and I was furious that I had to stand in the back of the line. Then I went up to the bar staff and I was like, hi, guys. I always drink red wine. Yes, I'd like a red wine. Oh, that's $14. So that's $14. No, but it's me. Do you want the drink or not? I'm thinking, when you say the power of drag, to go out as a drag queen in Wellington City back then, and then to go out as a boy, can I just say that experiment was never duplicated? I never did that.
We see, for someone like me being, being a male, I would go out with drag queens specifically for that reason, because I wouldn't have to line up. And they're always my friend. And I knew that, again, the power of drag. I was never in the line either. I would get a free drink, but I would have also done their wig or, done their makeup or stuff like that, which I totally adore as a hair and makeup artist. But I knew that. I knew it was really, really important. And there was always conversations with people that they just didn't know. And that's where I really learned that term, by Felicia. And I was like, why do you call it Felicia? You don't even know him. And it was like, well, that's what I mean. That's Felicia. Don't know him. Bye, Felicia. And all the terminology, and it's exciting, really. And as long as you give too, like I have to give too. I'm not just hanging on. I'm not an entourage person. I'm not really been like that. And I've had so many questions for you, Amanda, but you've answered them all anyway. Everything has segued into, into the whole thing. And, I'm always thinking it needs to be another part because, I wanted to start talking about television and things like that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because that's been another career for you too. And I was talking to Jade the other day, a whakawahine, and her life from where she began and, and where she ended up in the corporate world. Her career is another show. And that's what I so love about our people and about our experiences, because it's more of a trilogy than it is just one conversation, And I feel it's like, oh no, I don't want to cut anything off, but I'll go. We'll go into our grounding questions, because as you've worked so hard through your life, what does looking after yourself look like this day? What is your personal hauora? How do you take care of yourself?
So I think for me, the most important thing, I have a thing. And at first my friends were like, why do you do this? But it does have a little bit of a kaupapa. Every morning for 11 years, well, actually, it's been 14 years now, our sister had cancer, Pauline. And she rang us and told us that she was sick, and we were devastated. So she said, I'm going to have a weekend. So we called it Sisters Weekend. And we went and got our nails done. You weren't allowed to bring your phone. You had to bring your medical certificate and your financial report. So I was the only boy that was invited. There were this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 girls, 7 girls. And I was like, why are we doing this? And Pauline said, because I didn't realize that cancer was going to come, but I need you to look at my finances so that when I pass, I've got my insurance, this needs to go to the kids. And she said, these are conversations that I want to have with my family, because I don't know how to have them with my children. So after I'm gone, these things have to be put in place. So we did that, and she passed, and it was, I had a paradigm shift. I realized we are never given tomorrow. you know, and my attitude towards life and hauora, my well-being changed. I started to eat better.
Okay.
I wanted to keep in contact more. So every morning, without fail, at 6 o'clock in the morning, my sister, Norma, she would text. We have a sisters page, and she would text every morning, "Good morning. As soon as I open my eyes, you were the first person that I thought about, my family." So she'd wait, and then as we woke up, we would all text back, and it was her way of healing her mamai for our sister.
Great. Yeah.
Now that was going on for 11 years, and every year we would have 2 sisters weekends. And over the last year, Norma passed.
Oh, wow.
And I woke up this one morning and I went to go and answer my phone. No text. And it was like the most guttering kick in my throat. The pain I felt, because I looked and I thought, where are you? This was my highlight for my day. And my sister Phyllis had passed and Lillian had passed prior in the years prior. So there were only 2 girls and me left in the sisters' room. And I thought, oh my God. And then I started thinking, when I wake up in the morning, I think of people like Spanks, Cola, you know, Shaz, people that I engage with every day. Now, my cousin Lee, my sisters, my family. So I started sending these good morning texts, little memes. And Spanky says to me, why do you text so early in the morning? Like, why do you send these dumb memes to me? And I don't open them up. And you're just filling up my phone. So I gave him the kaupapa of what happened with my sister. And I said, you know, Spanks, one day I won't be sending these texts. And I said, I want you to remember when I wake up in the morning, you're the first person I thought about. And all my love for you that I have for you every single day. And that here it is. And it's just one good morning message. And it's become so important to my friends and my family now. I got sick a couple of weeks ago. I just had a cold and I was too tired. And I missed the good morning thing 3 times in a row. While I had cola ringing. Girl, are you all right? Why aren't you sending me my memes? Thanks.
Okay.
Hey, do I need to come down? And you know, this really triggered something in my head because I thought, if anything ever happened to me, they would be the first people to realize, oh,
Something's happened.
Amanda's gone quiet. And I know that they would come looking. So I've experienced a couple of friends that have died in their homes by themselves, and I live alone. You know, and when they passed, it wasn't for a couple of days that people realized there was no communication and what's happening. And by the time they got to them, they were really in a bad way physically. I don't ever want that to happen. And if it ever comes to a situation where, you know, it is my time to pass and I can't get to a phone, I know that if I don't email you or text you tomorrow to say that I'm good morning, immediately they start thinking.
Oh, Amanda, that is the most beautiful hauora I've ever I've heard for a long time. You know, my voice is cracking a bit, and you know, it's what I should be doing. It's what we should do. It's an incredible. You know, people talk about hauora. They're like, "Oh, I love to have midi." You know, like
Yes.
that is care for yourself in the true sense of keeping in contact with people that you're close to, and if they don't hear from you. You know, and I know our audience is going to hear this, and it's like, just because we live alone, we don't have to be alone. And I'm not a lonely person. So it's like, if I got sick and I'd like, you know, like, I'm fine, you know, I called an Uber to the hospital and I was having a heart attack, you know, and it's like, it's really silly. You know, you need to keep in contact with people. And this everyday thing, I've got a handful of people I will definitely start doing that with. So thank you for that inspiration.
You're so welcome.
It moved me because it's so important that.
And you know, because we do live alone.
Yeah.
I always think to myself, But we don't know when the good Lord's going to come knocking.
Yes.
But if we put fundamental strategies like this, and it's so simple, but it's so beautiful, because now Spanx realizes, you know, I think of him every day. Cola knows that I think of her every day. You know, my nephews and nieces, we have a Whānau page.
Yeah.
And everyone puts up their messages, but they look for that. So it's got to be between 6 and say 7:30 in the morning. They wake up and they go straight to their phones.
Yeah.
You know, and I got that from my sister, because I know how empty that was when she stopped. It was very difficult, actually, for all of us. You know, we would text each other in the morning and think. She was quite old, and say, for example, with my phone, I don't know where to put my phone, but she would get the phone for on Messenger, and she'd be like this, and she had no teeth, and she'd be like this. This bloody thing working. And then she'd scream out to her husband, I think this bastard's broken. And we're there.
Yeah.
And we're going, good morning. Hey, good morning. Is that you? Yes. Oh, hello, dear.
Oh, Amanda. So
You know,
precious.
and we've kept those videos.
Yes.
You know, so when we miss her, or, you know, when we miss the other sisters, we have a catalogue of all this corridor that we'll remember, and we shared it with our children, you know, our nephews and nieces and the younger ones, so that they don't, the brothers and sisters aren't forgotten. So this year at Easter, my sister came down, and we are going to collate a book.
Yeah.
So in this book, it's going to be our Whānau book. We'll all have a picture of ourselves, and then a little bit of kaupapa where we are in the family. And then you turn the page, and it'll have all our photographs and videos of the last 14 years of us having sisters' weekends. And on our sisters' weekends, we always picked, someone had to tono for it. So I tonoed it for them to come to Wellington.
Yep.
You have to give it a theme. My theme was getting to know you. And I asked the girls to write one page of things that they've never ever told our family before. And then we went to art installations, and a fabulous artist, Keel Kasky, made these wooden frames, and we were all painting, you know, doing these, he got us the Turnbull Library. We all started painting. We had all these paints, and then he rang the bell, and we were looking at him. There's 7 of us looking at him, and he goes, I'd like you to get up off your painting and move to your sister's painting. I'm like, what? So we got up, left our painting, went to our sister's painting, and then by the time we finished, we had a taonga for our children.
Of course.
Every brushstroke, every memory, every thought that we had is, that was auntie's, that was auntie, that was auntie, that's me.
Yeah.
And it's the most gorgeous, eclectic visual of how we truly feel about each other while we were alive.
Yeah.
You know, so I've got mine framed, and my kids know that when I'm gone, you know, that's something that I'll pass on to them. And just little items that we've got from Sisters Weekend, I've kept. You know, so when I miss them, I have a little item and think, oh, I remember this day. Oh, I remember what you were wearing. Oh, I remember what the conversation was. So each sisters gathering, we talked about our parents and my mum, my dad, a sister that might have passed, or a brother that might have passed. There was always subject matter, so you had to write one page, and we'd get into our venue, our apartment, and on the Friday we would read our stories, and then on the Saturday we'd do an activity, and someone would take videos and photographs, and on the Sunday there was normally like a church something in the morning, because none of us are active now. So it was gorgeous. It was really, really gorgeous. But these things I think are so important to pass on.
Yeah, they are.
Now that the children understand.
And the memories too, though. So whenever you want to remember, you can, you know, without emotion, because they're beautiful memories. And
yes. And I mean, some of my friends have started Sisters Weekend where they get together with their sisters. And I know that my nieces have done 2 cousins weekends.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that it filters down through the rest of the family.
Well, I think it's filtered down with our audience because it's such a great way to remember people and also caring for yourself. I mean, it's moved me. Like I said, when people talk about their hauora, your hauora of keeping everyone together and keeping, and contacting everybody every day, because this is the difference between Spanky and Cola. And I shouldn't sound racist, but it's like Cola's being Maori herself. She's like, "Where have you gone, girl? What's wrong?" But then Spanky's like, "Why are you doing this?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very,
I love
it was very
Spanky, and
interesting.
I adore Cola. That I adore those. I adore all 3 of you. I'm not trying to big note myself, but I loved it when you came through. I took you out for dinner. I got you a lovely hotel, and I said to you, this is the way that you deserve to be treated. You don't just come in here and have to do your makeup in the back of a toilet or the paraplegic toilet, that they normally.
Oh, Donald, when we went into the hotel, I remember looking at Spanky thinking, we just got off the flight.
Yeah.
Can't remember who came to pick us up, but they were lovely. And we got to the hotel, and when we were going in to check in, I was looking at Spanky going, do they know we're drag queens? Do they know that we're staying here? And they were just so excited. They had a glass of champagne when we arrived.
Yeah.
Our rooms were so lavish.
Yeah.
And so luxurious, and we all had our own rooms, and so we're running around watching our, what we got. We had a great dinner with you that night, and the lady.
Annie's.
I'll never forget.
I remember that restaurant, Annie's. So I got to speak to Larissa. I also interviewed her because she got terrible. She had cancer, and so she, had to close it, unfortunately. But Spanky remembers her from Melbourne.
Yes.
Way back in the beginning of her career, her drag career. She remembered her then. So that connection was really magical. And it was also really magical to be able to speak to her and her influences and food and her inspirations and her mother. And it's been really amazing. Loris Vincent.
And do you also remember that night? She gifted us those beautiful tonga, those scarves, the Māori scarves. I still wear mine to this day.
Well, Tonga Huia is the designer from Rotorua, and she is my first cousin's wife, Tonga Huia, and she still has her online business, and she will be really happy that you mentioned it, because, that was also really
look.
Because I was busy running around, these girls deserve this. They just, and she said, I've got some scarves for you that I've made. And I was like, okay, we'll give this to them, because I sort of wanted you to come back, really. And I knew that you were going to do an amazing show, and you did anyway. So, we could talk about these sort of things for hours, really, couldn't we?
Oh, look, and another thing another thing that was such a highlight for me on that day was we went down to have breakfast. And I mean, we were just going down for breakfast like everybody else. And the chef actually came out. He was coming to the show that night, and he said, look, if you want eggs, if you wanted omelets with tomatoes and ham and cheese. And I'm looking at the buffet because it's a beautiful spread. And he goes, oh, not that. If you want me to go away and cook something,
fresh,
I can do that. Oh, and I tell you what, I felt bougie. I'm going to be quite frank here. I think Spanks had breakfast and then went back to his room to relax. Paula and I sat for a little while, then she went back to her room. They were clearing the dishes away before I went back to my room. Oh, sitting there. Oh, that's nice. It was gorgeous. It was so gorgeous. And then to be able to
mop up every
the audience
too.
Yes.
Every moment. And then I took you to the the Citizens Club. I shouldn't criticize that. It was a wonderful night.
It was such a fabulous
venue so well. I mean, you don't work on a stage. You work into the audience. Everyone was cheering, and I named all the tables different divas. Like I had the Aretha table, and it it's about not just hiring somebody to come down and do a drag show, because that's not what it's about. Impact. And it was important to me because obviously I knew a lot of the people that bought tickets, that you must dress. You can't come in your gumboots, because even though
And
Rotorua
remember,
acts like
Miss Rotorua came with
yes,
that guy from TV. Oh, that was hilarious. And I remember we were walking through, because we had taken our costumes down, but we were walking in, and I tell you, that whole bar stopped. So we thought, oh, we'll have a quick beverage here. And we sat down and talked to the punters. And then I can't remember who. I think it might have been Beverly was saying, come on, we've got to get backstage because we've got to get into our costumes and start welcoming people. And I think people in the actual bar, because it was a sold out night, they were trying to get tickets, or they were all lined up at the door, pushed in the corner. And look, it was fabulous.
I wonder, Amanda, and it's just difficult to talk about it because she's not long gone. Do you remember my sister helped you get changed?
Look, one thing I do remember.
Remember, she came backstage, and she just knew exactly what to do, and she would help you with your gowns. And sorry, I'm being emotional because I still really miss her.
Oh yes, and you will. Yeah. One thing that I remember was a highlight. We had these dresses that had just arrived, and so our bodies had molded into the dresses. Yeah. And I remember your poor sister behind me first. She's like this, and I'm like, no, let's go up. It'll go up, and it was sweat. And she's pulling the dress up, and then it went up. And as soon as I finished, thank you so much. And then Cola stood in front of her, and she was like this. And her poor little fingers trying to pull the dress up.
She was 5'8", and you girls are 6'4".
And then getting down on her hands and knees because we couldn't clasp them. Because we had corsets on. We couldn't put the clasps on our heels.
Yeah.
No sweet to her. And then she came back.
Not.
What are you drinking?
Yeah.
And I was looking at, because Cola doesn't like us drinking. Oh, she doesn't mind. She's never said no.
Yeah.
But you can see that raised eyebrow look. I'm watching you, girl. And your sister went away and she brought back these drinks. And I said to the girls, hey, we have to pay for these. You can't just get them. And she said, oh, no, my brother's got this all sorted. And I was thinking, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And it was magnificent. And the audience, sometimes when they stood up and they cheered so loud, it was that thunderous. I was thinking that roof's going to break.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and then she came out with us, and we were sitting outside after the show.
Yeah,
and your sister was just so open, and we talked about your mum.
Yeah,
about your career. Oh, and I do remember coming into your saloon because I think you had 3 clients.
Yes.
And if I remember correctly, Kate, Priscilla, she used to come to you.
Yes, she did. Yeah.
Katie.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Great memories.
Because they're all here, really. I mean, I still look after Auntie Annette Sykes. She's still here, and she came the other day, and they're incredibly loyal to me. And I'm working from home now in my studio here.
Yes, but you're incredibly talented. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And I remember you just cut your sister's hair that night or the day before.
Yeah.
I think you'd styled it, if I remember correctly. Because when your sister came, we were thinking, gosh, she's a bit of a posh mold, isn't she?
Yeah, she was. She was.
How are you looking after yourself after this?
Well, I've had to definitely look after myself, and I've done a lot. I've certainly made a lot of changes. Given up sugar. I did that about 2 months ago. So refined sugar is a poison. And so I was in hospital when I gave up the sugar, which is good. So I was able to sort of, cope with the withdrawal, because you literally do go through a withdrawal and you're so sick. And I was eating really healthy, but it wasn't enough weight. It wasn't enough for weight loss. And I keep calling him the gynecologist, but the cardiologist said, he was trying to find a polite way to say, that you should lose weight. And I thought, because I said to him, what should I do? The medication is working. I feel really, really well. He said, well, that's good, but I would like you to, there's an operation that you're going to have to normalize your heartbeat, which is an electric shock. And I was like, I'm just too young for these types of things. Is there anything else I can do while I'm feeling so well? And then I said, look, I'll lose weight. Will that help? And he said, that would really help. So I'm a kaupapa of intermittent fasting, which has always worked for me quite well. But in my 6-hour window, I'm really focused on the food that I'm eating in that period. It's not hamburgers and chips, yeah, as well. And I've got lots of energy, and I've done 4 clients today. And I'm really, really focusing on it. But I think something that will make an important part of my hauora is certainly being in contact with a small circle of my whānau, like my 2 nieces and my nephew. And I'm going to start up pages, and I'm going to tell them that they have.
Oh, I love that.
No, I just love that. And I think our audience will love that. And thank you so much for talking about my sister. I think I really needed it. I needed somebody that was, I mean, I know you, we've worked together, but that's how you saw her. And she was very precious. And I loved how she just, I didn't ask her to do anything. I said, just go and help the girls. That's what I said. And
she was amazing.
Yeah, it's what she knew to do.
But she always came back at halftime, or when we left stage, because getting into the dress is unique in itself.
Yeah.
Getting out of them is equally as unique. So she was always, she was very mindful as we were each leaving the stage. Yeah. She'd come running back, ready to zip our son down and get us into our next costumes, because our changes were quite quick and the costumes are quite elaborate.
Oh, yes. Oh, you pulled them all out. You bought all the costumes. It was incredible. It was the color that the town needed. Really, it did.
Yeah, it was. We need to do this again. Honestly, we need to organize something like this.
Yeah, we will. We will have to do it again. Spanky's not so busy, so bringing back you 3 girls would be amazing.
Oh, look, and we would love that. We love the opportunity. So we've called ourselves. What's the name that we've
What was it before?
Out?
It was very funny before that trio. What did you call it before?
Leading Ladies.
Leading Ladies. That's right. Yes.
And people would ask us, why did we call ourselves Leading Ladies? And it's because in our own right, we can lead. So say I would do the welcoming in our first segment. I'd welcome the audience. And then in our second segment, Cole might do a game. And in our third segment, Spanky would do the bye-bye. So we all led each section.
Yeah.
And we all get on so well together. Like we truly are a little family. It's gorgeous. It's wonderful to be part of.
And, when you hire you as a group, as a producer, and, I was hosting because I was doing fundraising for Waiariki Women's Refuge. I don't know if you remember. You don't have to host anything like that. You don't even have to introduce your girls, because everything's ready. And so as a producer, it's just a joy. You just produce, sell the tickets, make sure the venue looks great. And then you come.
And the venue did look great.
Yeah, well, for the venue that it was, I was really quite proud of what we all pulled together. I got somebody to put up lots of rainbow all our colors and everything that represented us. I think I had a client that made a backdrop, rainbow, our colors. So it was really perfect. It so was. And as I said before, I could really talk to you for hours. But thank you so much again for recognizing my sister. But I do this with everybody. I take them to these fast 5 questions that I hope you don't think too much about. You would just go straight in and sort of say a reply. The first one is, what would you tell your younger self?
You are exactly where you're meant to be.
Yeah, that's really good.
Never doubt.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
What brings you most joy right now?
Honestly, my grandchildren. They are growing exponentially, and I'm trying desperately hard to keep up with the language and the constant use of the what is it? Their cell phones.
Oh yeah.
But they're growing to be incredible women, and my daughter is. Like, I think her husband's pretty great, but my daughter is quite exceptional. She has gone over and above anything that I could ever imagine a woman, like, I'm not saying this because she's my daughter.
Sure.
She's put herself through university. She's got a master's degree. She holds a very high position in her mahi. So does her husband. He works in the mines. They are 43, I think she is, and she's freehold for her house.
Mm.
My moko, eldest moko, is doing anesthesiology at the hospital. They had 350 students in their course.
Yeah.
My moko is third top.
Right.
And that's nothing to do with me. That's everything to do with her mother.
Yeah.
My second moko is
Well, I think
one
it
of my
has
little...
everything to do with, you know, probably what you would pass on as the whakapapa of your own generation, really, you know?
Yes, like, but Nikki is just she's an incredible woman.
Yeah.
You know,
Understand.
I look at her and I think, how do you accomplish all of this? But, you know, I see a lot of the women in her life have been very strong, women in their own right, very intellectual, and she is all of that.
Yes.
You know, I love it when she comes down, because then she can just relax, and it gives me time to run away with the children. And my
Be a
second one
child with them.
reminds, yes, my second one reminds me a lot of me. She's very creative, very uber focused on what she wants to do. She wants to go into dermatology. The last one, I said to her, well, I'm getting old. So don't worry about getting a job, because your parents will look after you. And then when I get old, I'll come home and you can look after me. Now, I changed your nappy when you were a baby, so you can change my nappy when I'm an old lady.
I feel like these are the same conversations I have with my niece and nephew. So what one word describes your journey?
Oh, just one word. Prosperous.
Yes.
My journey has been filled with so much happy, and the trials and the tribulations have also been beneficial to shaping the person that I am today.
Beautiful.
So I prosperous.
What are you calling in for your future? What are you calling your future?
For the foreseeable future, I would like to see my family succeed, to tautoko our community as much as I can, to promise my friends that they will survive. You know, that life is never as desperate as you may think. You know, my friends are just another extension of my family. So I dedicate and devote a lot of time to their well-being.
Yeah.
And because I'm looking after them, I look after me.
Yeah, of course.
That makes sense.
Part of it, yeah. And that's what's magical about being Takatāpui, really, isn't it? So what does Takatāpuitanga mean to you today? Is our final question.
Majesty. It is... I feel majestic to be part of a community that is steeped in tikanga, that has a sense of true essence, that is not fabricated.
No.
You know, with our people, when we love with our whole heart, mind, body, and soul. And we are part of that kōrero. You know, and you look at people like Georgina Baia and Carmen Rupier, Dana de Milo, Jenny Edwards, and so many other of our Takatāpui Whānau that have passed. They set precedent.
Yeah.
And when I say majesty, I feel majestic because I still walk in their shoes. I hold their mana and their integrity and their purpose here.
Yeah.
So I'm very blessed.
We know I'm a little. I've got a little Carmen story since you brought her up. When I was in Sydney in Surrey Hills, I had a salon in Crown Street, and it was called Hollingsworth, my last name. And she would walk past because she lived on Riley Street, and she had a house in Court Place. And she would walk by, and then she'd look at me, and then the third time, after 3 days, she looked and she just walked in. She went, "Oh, kia ora," you know, and she said, "Where are you from?" Like straight away, we always know, you know, we just had that connection straight away. Obviously, I have brown skin, but she was like, "Kia ora," she knew. And then she said, I'm going to have to start coming to you and you've got to do my hair. So she'd come every week to have it put up and washed and put up. And I'd always put it up in that little knot that she had. Oh, and the conversations we had, especially, you know, the Lebanese boys that she looked after that had mummy issues, you know, and she said, girl, you can come over any time, but if the bird cage isn't on up the front, you can't come in. So I think that represented the bird cage meant you could come in if the bird was out. Otherwise, it would be inside. And
that's
I mean, that's just one of the conversations. She was incredible, and I'm just so grateful that I got to meet her, and I got to, you know, meet Georgina when she used to do things at, and I was a young boy, like 14, 15, at Alfie's when she used to perform there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You know, this is like 1984. I was really young, but you know, I was a sort of a twink then, but a brown one, I suppose. Amanda, thank you so much for today.
You're
This
so
has been
welcome.
amazing, and we are definitely going to do another one because there are other conversations that we need to have, especially about your children and more of your career too, because it's not just your hauora that's been inspiring, it's definitely been your life, and I had no idea.
Oh, really?
I
Oh,
had
this is
no
gorgeous.
idea. I really didn't. I didn't really have any idea. I certainly knew that you were Amanda and you did this incredible show for me, you know, but that's all I knew. That's all I knew. So thank you so much.
Oh, look, this has been such a pleasure. You know, when you first introduced the subject matter, I thought, what is this about? And now knowing that there is a plethora of people that come from unique backgrounds with unique kōrero that all tie together in this tapestry of Takatāpui-ship. I was just so honored, and so thank you. Thank you for choosing me to be part of this audience. I really appreciate this.
Ka kite anō.